Okay, you join us for the second round of our Project Cars 2 series at Watkins Glen. This is the PC series. So we have Mike in first place, I'm in second, Mark is in third, and Ron is fourth on the grid. As we hit play, and let's see what happens. So a good start. Mike takes to the right hand side, lets everyone past. Smart move. Let everyone else crash in the first corner if they're going to do that. I managed to lead Mark away for the first few corners as we run uphill. Mark was faster through the earlier practice sessions and qualifying, but really we had a few missteps trying to get the race started, and so we didn't actually carry the results of qualifying through into the race. So Mark goes down the inside out of the bus stop. Cold tyres, cold brakes, so just taking it easy. Everyone's running a little bit wide out of that corner. A lot of sliding going on. So now it's my job to chase Mark, see if I can catch him. One taken to the grass there. Still staying close together. Strange. Let's go and join Mark at the lead. So I'm chasing him through the final corner, end of lap 1, over the start finish line. A 30-minute race, so there's plenty of time to make the gap up. Once the tyres come up to temperature after about 3 or 4 laps. One's doing a good job of keeping in touch. The 3 of us are separated by only a few seconds. Good tight line through there, up over the hill. This corner's been catching a lot of people out. It's deceptively tight, but then you've got this very late apex turn that's kind of crucial because you can carry a lot of speed through the next corner. So you want a good run out of there. Mark's pulling away a bit. Bit too much curve there. And he spins. Tags the front end on the barriers. Lets the fill through. So that's my chance to take the lead. Ron's dropped back as well. He's also had a spin. So now it's my job just to stay on the track, post some reasonably consistent lap times and try and be at least moderately fast. At least that's my plan. Got enough fuel for the race. Tyres should hopefully last out. So it's mine to lose. See Mike in the background. Mike can often be found on Project Cars 2 if you're interested in a practice session. Mike and Ron are quite often racing and practicing, getting experience, and it's definitely showing. The times were much closer in this race than in previous races. So Mark's catching up with Bill. Sorry, Bill, Mike. Interestingly, in the replays it shows in neutral. Obviously it's not. That's just so it doesn't give away gear changes and the gears that he's using to get around the track when I view the replay. Using all the track. Oh, a bit too much. So Mark out qualified me by about 200ths of a second when we had the qualifying session. So he's definitely capable of being faster than me. In fact, he was most of the way through the qualifying session. It was all I could do to get within 200ths. So consistency is the key here. My lap times are actually, if we look, are actually okay, marginally faster on this lap, but generally slightly slower. Mike is definitely doing a good job though of catching up with Mike. See what Ron's up to. Watkins Glen is a great track to practice with the 911 GT3R. It's got a really nice flow to it that seems to suit the car and the balance. You get a very good impression of the weight transfer and the grip levels of this track. Looks like Mark's had another trip into the barriers. He's lost about 7 or 8 seconds over Bill, like Mike. Mike is still just 4 seconds behind me though, so it wouldn't take much of a mistake to let Mike through. He's doing a great job of keeping it on the track. Good line. It's coming up to Ron. Just a couple of seconds in front. So that put Ron a lap down. Mike could use a bit more track here, and just positioning a bit more, using more of the track to the left here on the run down to the first corner. Stay left here, move over, you get right up to the curb, and then flick over to the left. All those little gaps that you're not using, those bits of track where you don't get all the way over, those compromise your line, and that compromises your time. So you can see Mike and Ron are posting fairly similar times. So bring that up. So Ron has actually done a 1:49 and Mike is at 1:51 that last lap. Mike was actually slightly faster than me on that lap, so everybody here is pretty closely matched. It's just a question of how much time you spend on the track and how much time you spend visiting the barriers. Another off-track excursion. So it's a 30-minute race with each lap being about 2 minutes, so we're expecting about 15-16 laps. So we're about halfway through the race at this point. So you really get to see the movement of the car as it goes through the bus stop. You can see it rolling from side to side, pitching down at the front, and the braking, levelling off. All of that is very apparent as you're driving as well. It really helps to balance the car when you think about what the tyres are doing and where the weight transfer is. You see Mike in the background there, so he's not that far behind. we see him in the background? Not quite. Mark has definitely tried to restyle that car using the Arnco. Fortunately, we only have visual damage on today, so it's still drivable. In our races, we're generally not too worried if you stick your car into the barrier and affect yourself. If you go crashing into other people though, it's a different story. That's generally frowned upon. Mike's keeping his car clean and in one piece. Good use of the apex there. You can actually stay in fourth through there. Just a dab on the brake, flick it in, should hold. The last corner, third or fourth gear, is generally good enough. Depends how much understeer you're getting. Turn 1, it's crucial to get that apex. Third gear, hang it in. There's a gully, sort of camber, right by the apex, so you don't want to get up on the curb, but get the right wheels hooked in there, you'll go through nicely. Late apex through there is the way to do it. It just opens up the corner and you can get on the throttle much earlier. Quick braker at the 100-meter mark. You want to hook up on the left hand curb, the apex, and that will spin you around. Same on the right hand here. Get the right wheels right up against that curb, and that will give you the perfect line out that corner. So since it's my replay, you'll be able to see all the gear changes and the good and the bad things that I do. So riding down into this turn, I'm looking for about 200, yeah, because I want to early apex this. Not too worried about using the curb on the left because I need to be right over to the right hand side. Look through the window, late apex. Into fourth, brake, turn it in. All the way over to the left. And then power out, use as much of the left hand curb as you can. Across the start finish line, at 300, brake down into third, hook it into the curb on the right, run out to the left, wait to the end of the curb to turn in, hook it right into the curb, and then left, right at the end of that curb, and just flat out all the way through here, ease off the steering. Managing braking and gear changes. Someone had apparently hit one of the advertising hoardings. So late apex here as well. It's very handy for carrying speed onto the straight. Keep it tight here. You can brake quite deep into that corner and then carry the speed out. Let's bring up the times and let's see where we end up. So I went down to second for that just because I wanted a tighter and faster exit. Tyres are starting to wear a little bit, so that also contributes to understeer. So my last lap was a 1:49.2. See where this ends up. Hopefully somewhere similar. I've got a 13-second lead over Mike, so quite comfortable there. $150 dead. Live with that. So we should be in the last lap or two of the race. We're on lap 14 of, I think we reckoned it would be 16 or 17 laps. It's key to make sure you start the race with enough fuel to get to the end, because the race isn't long enough really for a pit stop. It's amazing that bumper hasn't fallen off yet. .150.9. So Mark's doing really consistent times. Ron, it seems, has had another trip off with 154. It's not quite where he'd want to be. So at this point, with the gaps that we've got here, Mark could catch Mike. He's got about 6 seconds, 6.7 seconds. It's definitely possible. Doesn't take much of a mistake. I'm probably okay at 16 seconds ahead of Mike. My times have got to a good level, so I think pretty much everyone's going to stay where they are through to the end of the race. .148.9. Is this it? And that's it. 18 laps. And Ron's in the pits.